And now let's talk about the India-China standoff. No, I'm not talking about the one at the border. This was a standoff during the G20 summit. It happened at a five-star hotel, the hotel where the Chinese delegation was staying. They were at the Taj Hotel in New Delhi. It played host to many elite delegates, like Brazil's President Lula da Silva. And Brazil, you know, is the next host of the G20. So important delegations stayed in this hotel. The Chinese delegation was at the same hotel. And they threw a lot of tantrums, so much so that their actions led to a tense face-off. Members of the Chinese delegation arrived on Thursday, and this was an advance team. The Chinese premier reached New Delhi a day later, that is on Friday. Now, Friday, of course, was the day before the summit was about to begin. So before the premier came, some of his team was already here. They were put through a security check, which is routine procedure. Everyone goes through this for their own safety. In this case, the hotel security team noticed some bags. Reports say they looked unusual. Their dimensions seemed off. But they were labeled as diplomatic baggage. Now, Indian security officials were also present. They too saw the bags and they let them go. This was as per protocol. A diplomatic bag, also known as a diplomatic pouch, is like a container. It is used by countries to send documents or messages, sometimes even some articles or things, and this diplomatic bag or pouch is protected under the Vienna Convention, no matter the urgency. No other country can open this bag. No other country is allowed to take a look inside. And Indian officials followed this rule. These unusual-looking Chinese bags were labeled diplomatic, so they were allowed inside. The Chinese officials took the bags to their rooms, and soon after that, the Indian side got a complaint. A hotel staffer saw one of these bags. This person had gone inside the room and came out worried. So a report was filed. This staff member filed a complaint. They said there was, quote-unquote, suspicious equipment inside the bags. And that's when the Indian officials swung into action. The security team approached the Chinese delegation. They knocked on the doors of their hotel room. This time, they asked for a closer look. They wanted to put the bags inside a scanner, a bit like the baggage scan that you see at airports. So the Indian officers wanted to scan the Chinese bags, and this is not against the rules. India follows the Vienna Convention, and the rule book is very clear about such situations. Let me show you something. The Protocol Handbook of the Ministry of External Affairs. What does it say about diplomatic bags? Such bags must have clear markings to begin with, and they should only have diplomatic documents or articles intended for official use. These bags cannot be opened under any circumstances. The rule book says that very clearly. They cannot be opened. But what about putting them through a scanner? That is perfectly okay. In fact, let me quote. Diplomatic bags to be transported as cargo or registered baggage shall be X-ray screened as per the security instructions in force. Such suspicious baggage shall not be transported until and unless the doubts are cleared to the satisfaction of the security staff. So that's all that the security officials wanted to do. Put the suspicious bag through a screening. China did not allow it. They put their foot down. They refused to allow any checks. And this led to a standoff. The Chinese delegation refused to cooperate and Indian officials refused to budge. They said they want to check the bags, not open them, just scan them. And this drama went on for 12 hours. Ultimately, the Chinese side came up with a way to evade scrutiny. They dispatched these bags to the Chinese embassy. And here we must praise the Indian team. Despite the pressure from the Chinese side, they held their ground. They pushed China to be transparent. A three-member team stood outside the delegation's room. They remained outside for 12 hours. They left only when China decided to send the bags to the embassy. So what was China trying to hide in these bags? Why did they block the security check? Well, that remains a mystery. The suspicion is that the Chinese side had brought a jamming device or equipment used to communicate privately. In fact, the Chinese delegation was quite paranoid about this, about securing their communications. They even demanded a separate and private internet connection. This request was declined. What does this incident tell you? It is a glimpse into the psyche of the world's second largest economy and the people who rule it. That's China for you. Secretive, confrontational, and ready to kick up a fuss.